Hi everybody, Lisa McCarthy here from yourattic.com. Just jumping online today to give you guys some great information about auto posting on Instagram. So if you don't know who I am and this is the first video that you're watching, my name's Lisa. I provide support and training for people that are looking to start their own online or in-person clothing business. So there's tips and tricks about production for making your clothing line. But today we're going to be talking specifically about promotion and Instagram. So the reason why I'm talking about it today was in the last week, Instagram announced that they're going to be working with some of their key partners to allow auto posting to Instagram. So in the past, if you have an Instagram account and that's set up as a business account, you're able to set up with a social media management tool and have them support with pushing out information to your Instagram feed. So there are a bunch of them out there. There's tons of different tools, but essentially what you were able to do was go on to these platforms, put in your content that you wanted, so your image and the caption that you were going to write with it and hashtags that you were going to associate with it, load that into the system, and then your social media management tool would basically give you a notification on your phone at the point in time when you should be posting that. So this helped people remember to post every single day to Instagram to get their information out there. What it wasn't able to do was to actually put the information into Instagram without you physically picking up your phone, going, opening the app, and basically doing all of the work. So basically let you plan it up front, but you still had to actually put all of the content into Instagram. So why is it a big announcement that they're saying that you could auto post? Because now what you're going to be able to do is to actually set up that schedule ahead of time of these are the posts that I want, these are the times that I want them to go through, set it, and then these tools that they have partnerships with are actually going to post directly to your feed so that you don't have to go into your phone, open up those notifications every single day when they send them, and then upload the information. So it's going to be a huge time saver for people that are planning out their content in advance. It doesn't really make a difference if you're one of those people that as you see something, as something pops into your head, you jump into Instagram and do it. But they're not mutually exclusive. So you can still post as things come up in your day, but you will also have the ability to plan out content in advance and have that feed through. So this is going to be really, really big for small businesses because you can really look at Instagram as a free way for you to be advertising to your ideal customer. So I talked a little bit in a previous post around how to find new customers in Instagram when they released the ability to follow hashtags. So you can now set up in your feed hashtags that your typical customer uses, follow them within your feed, and that will just give you kind of a running list of people that are using those same types of hashtags so that you can follow them, check out what information, what other brands that they're looking at, and start to market to them in a way that really speaks to them based on the things that they like. So as you're building that conversation with your customer on Instagram, the more content that you're uploading and that is valuable and interesting to them, the more likely that you're going to get engaged and click through on that content to your website. So I really got to do something about the storage on my phone. Sorry about that. So it's going to give you the ability to plan content up front so that you have a steady stream of information that you're sharing with your customer, which is going to increase the engagement that you're getting and increase the click-throughs to your site, which will convert to more sales if you're getting the right people through. So of course, super important to be offering content that is resonating with your customer and not just random stuff, not just spamming people with anything that you can get out there, but it is constantly content that is going to be useful to your customer. So what I wanted to talk about a little bit today was some of the tools that you can use. So when this announcement came out, I was under the impression that all of these social media management tools that people were already using now just automatically had that ability. And I started to do a little bit of research this week in terms of which tools you could actually do this. So actually going in and testing a bunch of them. And I was really, really surprised to find that the majority of the tools that are out there don't have this functionality yet. So I'm not going to say that I'm a tech wizard by any means, but as I was digging into it, what I was realizing was that because they are specific Instagram partners that they're releasing this to, there is really a sequence of events that has to happen for this functionality to be available. And it seems like there are a couple of close partners that may have gotten information that this is coming sooner. So they were able to build up in their systems these platforms for you to be able to do that. Whereas other people were kind of getting wind of it as the announcement came out and actually haven't built out the functionality in their apps yet. So when I was going through and testing them out, some of them said that this was a new feature that was available. And then when you went to use it, it was like, oh, but it's not available by us. We're working on it and we're looking to get it approved with Instagram and it will be available in the future. Plan was one of the ones that did a really good job of actually saying right in their, on their website that it's something that they're working on, that they plan to be able to release in May. But it was helpful for me so that I didn't go digging around trying to use it. And I could instantly say, okay, great, they're working on it, but it's not something that I could do with them today. There are a couple that I found that you can actually use that functionality as of today. And if you follow me on Instagram, you notice that I had a heavier Instagram day than usual because I was trying to push through some of these automated posts to see which ones actually worked, which ones just sent me the notification and I had to do myself. So I signed up for like 5 different social media platforms yesterday to kind of try and test them out, see what the differences were, see what worked, what didn't work. So that's what I want to share with you today was which of those tools really was the most successful and the ones that I liked the best. I'm going to say that my number one that I used yesterday that I liked the way that it worked was Tailwind. So I actually got the information that this was coming out from Tailwind because I used them for my Pinterest scheduling, which I'm going to talk about in a future post. But they have recently added in the ability to schedule onto your Instagram as well, but they were doing it with just that they'll send a notification to your phone so that you can then upload the information at optimized times. So that's one of the things that Tailwind is excellent at, is finding those times when your customer is interacting with the app so that you're pushing out your information at the best time to get the most amount of views. So Tailwind's where I first got wind of this. I signed up for their free trial so that I could test it out. And they were the one that really made it the easiest to set up what that post was. It automatically put it into the next time slot that was optimal for my audience. And then I just sat back and it actually went through. So 2 of the other things that I really want to mention about Tailwind was that when I was using it, I don't know if you're like me, but when I'm typing on my phone, I'm just like mashing the keyboard. And I hope that a lot of those things are going to get caught in like the autocorrect. And I know some of you have called out in the past on blog posts where you're like, Lisa, this like should have been edited a little bit tighter. Some of these things, there's like typos in there and stuff like that. And I do rely definitely more so than I should. I rely heavily on those autocorrects. Tailwind doesn't have any autocorrect in there. So you have to pay a ton of attention when you're typing in, just that everything actually makes sense. It's not fixing words for you. So that's one of the things that they could probably improve in the future. Right now, it's not there. But one of the things that I really loved about Tailwind was as you're typing in your caption, it has underneath there kind of a scrolling bar of past hashtags that you've used, and they're color coded in terms of which ones they think are the optimal ones to use. And based on what I was looking at, I think that it's done by size, so how many people have actually posted to that. So if it is a hashtag that is used a ton, your post when it comes through is just going to get lost in the noise. There's so much stuff that you're only going to be sitting on that searched hashtag for a very limited amount of time. Whereas if you're using something that like you're literally the only one that ever uses it, there's like 1 or 2 people on it, nobody's even following that hashtag or looking at it, so it's kind of a waste of your time to put it in there. So you want to find somewhere kind of in the middle, where there are a bunch of people using it, but that it's not so frequent that that you're bumped off of being like the most recent post or the most like within that hashtag. So it does a really good job of color coding, and then you can just tap on them and pick, oh yeah, I want to assign this hashtag, this hashtag, this hashtag to this post. And then when it gets posted, those automatically go through. So I really like that about the Tailwind auto posting. I found that really, really helpful. One of the other tools that I found that is actually doing the auto posting like as of live right now was Autocorrect. So it's not one that I'd used in the past. I know it's very popular. A lot of people use it. It's not something that I had been using. I did start fiddling around with it yesterday. I found that the initial setup was actually kind of cumbersome and it took a lot of time. When it was validating and linking my accounts, I feel like that maybe took even half an hour, where I had to kind of go off and do other things for it to come through. And of course I got distracted and started doing some other things. But what I found was when it finally did link, when it takes you in, their analytics are incredible. So they really drop you on a homepage where it analyzes all of the information that's already in your Instagram feed, and starts to tell you about how your followers have changed, what your engagement's like, what your comments and likes, and how that kind of is, how that's evolving over time. It brings up your top posts in terms of where you're getting your most engagement, where you're getting your most likes. I didn't do a ton of digging into it, but there's so much information there that's really, really valuable if you're an analytics nerd and you really want to dig into how your the information that's going to tell you how your customers are reacting to your posts and which ones are beneficial to you. So I found that was really, really helpful in the Autocorrect app. And I did find that it was a little bit tricky, and it's not tricky. It was once I figured it out, but to get the auto posting done. So I thought that when I linked my Instagram account, and I scheduled a post to go to Instagram, it would just go to Instagram. And after getting the notification on my phone, I realized that obviously there was some other stuff that I needed to do. And they have like a super quick tutorial on there because they know that this is kind of a hot button new thing that people are learning. Just about unlocking your account and giving them permission to automatically post. So once I did that piece of it, the information flowed through really easily. And so that again was pretty seamless. It didn't have the same capability like right on the screen when you are uploading and putting in your new caption to select the best hashtags. What you are able to do is basically save comments. So you could basically save a comment of a bunch of different hashtags that you can then attach to your post, but you need to do that separately. So if you're just in the moment adding something and you don't have that hashtag list there, I kind of just had to make them up, which isn't as optimal as the way that it was done in Tailwind. So they both kind of have their pros and cons. What's great is that they're both offering the functionality right now. In terms of looking at at pricing, it was interesting that these were the two out of the 6 that I looked at yesterday that don't have just like a basic free plan. They both do offer a free trial up front. So Autocorrect offers like 14, oh, hey, Kelly, 14-day free trial up front. And which was it? Tailwind offers your first 30 posts are free. So they both give you the ability to try it out without paying up front. But once you're through that free trial, you do need to sign up for one of their either monthly or annual plans. They're about the same price. I think Autocorrect was $9 a month, and Tailwind, when you sign up for a whole year, it ends up being $10 a month. And I would recommend, if you are going to do that, to sign up for the whole year because it gives you unlimited posts, whereas it gives you like, I don't remember the number exactly off the top of my head, but it is a limited number. It's still a lot for a small business, but if you can get the unlimited posts and it actually brings the cost down a little bit to sign up for a year, I'd recommend doing that in Tailwind. So just to give you a recap of some of the other apps that I looked at that aren't currently offering the auto posting, just so that if you're trying to click around in there with the one that you already use and figure out like, hey, why isn't this working? I just wanted to highlight those to you. So Buffer is one of the ones that I looked at. It started out as a Twitter scheduler and is added on a ton of social media platforms. It is in works on offering auto posting. It doesn't have it yet. So if you are using Buffer, you will be able to get that eventually. It's currently not something that they offer. Later was another one that I tried out that doesn't seem to currently have it working in their functionality. And Plan is one that I mentioned earlier that like explicitly says on their website, we don't have it now, we're working on it. They hope to have it launched in May. HootSuite was another one that I looked at that based on everything that I've read, you can do it right now. And based on everything that I tried yesterday, it didn't work. So HootSuite is definitely something that like larger enterprise organizations use. They are a very robust tool. And quite honestly, for somebody that is really small scale, maybe you are just starting your line, it's just you, or you maybe have one social media person supporting you. HootSuite's kind of overwhelming in terms of all of the information that it can offer. I personally found it difficult, and I know a lot of people that use it and really love it. But for me, it seemed like a little bit over my head for what I was trying to do, which was like simple, just get my posts onto Instagram. There's so much going on within their user interface that like is not applicable to me, that I found that a little bit challenging. So if anybody has a different experience, I would totally love to hear that. Maybe I just need a quick tutorial, but from what I was trying to do, like down and dirty, test out the auto posting, it did not seem like the best option for a really small business. So that's just to give you a little bit of highlight of the ones that I looked at. And then when I was going through this, what I really started to realize that I've heard feedback from people that are starting out their own clothing line was that it's not just the difficulty in terms of the frequency that you need to do it. So it's like, oh my God, I have to get on to Instagram every single day and do this, which the automating really helps with. But it's also, what am I going to post? So that's great that I should be posting frequently so that I'm getting my message in front of my customers, but what the hell am I supposed to say to them? So I've spent a little bit of time putting together something that I think is going to be super helpful for you guys, which is a monthly Instagram planner. So it's basically a monthly view where you can sit down and write in what your post ideas are for each of those. And then you can do something which is really popular in the blogging world and not as popular in the apparel world, which is batching. So it's just like sitting down and doing all of your content for a month at one point in time, then being able to schedule and automate that and actually not think about it for the rest of the month. You're probably not gonna not think about it. You're going to still pop in. You're going to want to engage with people. Something's going to happen that you're going to want to capture and share. But your day-to-day grind of getting information out to people is going to be covered within like one sit down of a few hours, and just chunk out your time in terms of how are you going to actually build out that full content for the month. So within that worksheet, I have your monthly view where you can kind of write down every single day, this is what you're going to post. But in addition to that, I also have prompts set up for you that are particular. In particular, they're for people that are promoting a clothing line. So some of the ideas that are in there are super obvious, which are like, are you releasing any new product this month? And it gives you a place to write down, these are the new styles that I'm launching. And then on the flip side, okay, so what am I going to say about them? Or what are the product shots that I need to get so that I'm not just saying, okay, great, I'm dropping a pant. Okay, so how am I going to shoot that? Am I going to do a flat lay for that? Am I going to get that on a couple of people? Am I going to get that on myself and do an outfit of the day? What are different ideas that you could generate around that new product that's dropping? So I think on there I had like 10 to 12 different prompts for every month that take you through seasonal things that are happening, personal things that are happening, product things that are happening, that can just get the juices flowing in terms of what types of things you could be posting about. And then on the flip side, get into the detail of, okay, if this is what is happening behind the scenes with me this month, I'm going to fabric meetings. What pictures could I be grabbing? Could I be getting pictures of the new fabrics that I'm using? Could I be getting pictures of that being cut at my factory? Could I get pictures of the color palette that I'm putting together? Start to give you a lot of ideas of things that you can share with your customer. And again, I've mentioned this in previous posts that I've done, but so much of what your customer wants to see is like the behind the scenes of your business. So they want to feel like, sorry about the light, guys. The sun is like seriously coming in here and it's looking super weird, but anyway, your customer wants to hear what's going on with you as the person that's running this business. They want to make a personal connection with you, particularly for people that are shopping small and want to be buying a product from a person in an organization that they care about. And they're going to care about you more if they know what's going on in your life. So I know it's uncomfortable for people, but I really, really challenge you to put in posts that are about you, about your life, about your experiences, about products that you like, as well as around your own products and your own brands. So I'm going to upload that into the resource library today, the resource library, sorry, so that you guys can get access to that. And once it's in there, I will also drop a link in the comments for this video so you guys can go and get access to that. And I'd love to hear how it's working out for you, or hear if there are other platforms or tools that you guys are using for auto posting that you're really liking. I'm going to keep testing out Tailwind, since that's the guy that I'm on. And I'll let you know as things change and evolve over time that can hopefully help you guys save a little bit of time in your business. So if you guys found this helpful, I really love it if you shared it with other people that might benefit from the information. And make sure to jump on over to youraddict.com and grab that worksheet with the planner and the brainstorming prompts so that you can start batching your Instagram content. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.